Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Oxygen Not Included. Now, this doesn't look like our current world, although a little similar. But I set up a sandbox world so that I could recreate the spawn that we made and work out some of the kinks, because I don't think it's going to be good to just spend our precious time with no oxygen and all of the food situations in our other world, trying to discover how to create a spawn. So I went over to this world, and now we're going to try and see if we can work it out. So I think I've set it up exactly... Oh. Why are those open? I don't know. I think I've set it up exactly the way that we have it before. So as a refresher, this is the half Rodriguez, or at least it's inspired by it. And the way we have it set up is we've got our input line for water, because the inputs of a spawn is water, a tiny bit of power to get it started, and then it becomes self-sufficient. And then the outputs are oxygen and a bit of power, a tiny bit of power afterwards. So we have here our water intake, which is just set up so that it can... Well, that's interesting. Set up so that it can just pull water from here. I think I set this up wrong, but I could always just open it up. I guess I can just now. Not used to the controls here in this creative world, but I'm getting to it. Let's just rebuild power and plumbing. I've got our ventilation lines. So the outputs are these these four gas pumps, which siphon into two separate lines. These will output our oxygen, and then this gas pump over here gets rid of the hydrogen that the electrolyzers produce, and then puts them into hydrogen generators out here. And that's where we can get our power back. And then I think that's it. And then just the power, I have it set up, I'm pretty sure, exactly the same way. We're going to use a duplicate to jumpstart the process, and then it should be self-sufficient from there. And the automation. We worked through this last time a bit, and I think this is where we're going to make the most improvements on. But I still have it set up with 60 grams at the bottom, send a green signal if above, and 700 at the top for the hydrogen. But this, I think this number needs to change. That's just my hunch. And then it goes into an OR gate over here. This is just telling us when to fire our hydrogen generators. And it says either if the power gets low enough, or if the Atmos sensor is overpressured and it needs to pump out some hydrogen before it piles up in here and then seeps down into our oxygen line, which we don't want. So I'm going to just start it up and see what exactly happens. Here comes the water. Alright, now let's see. It's going to start building up with hydrogen. Let's see. It's outputting oxygen, which is good. This is the wrong. Still doing oxygen up top. It needs to be hydrogen. We need to wait for this to fully encapsulate the top side, the pink hydrogen. It's trying to. It should build up now. Yeah, there we go. Nothing is pumping it out. And now it's... Ooh. That was interesting. It was firing even though the hydrogen didn't reach all the way down here. So you can see at the height at the Atmos sensor. Where is it? Right here. We've got 1700 grams in here. So it's sending the signal to the pump. That's wrong. So let's see the situation right now. We don't want it to pump on this stroke here. Is there a higher density somewhere here? 1800, 1400, 1500. So maybe we should set this to like 2000 and then see what happens. So let's keep an eye here for when it activates. Almost reaching 2000. Not quite. The hydrogen is getting lower and lower. And around now is when we'd want something to happen. Around now. It really needs to tick. I saw it go to 2000 once, but the Atmos sensor didn't fire. Okay, this is too much. It's seeping all the way into this Atmos sensor, and that's going to confuse it. So I actually think it needs to be lower. What are we at right now? 1700? So maybe we keep it there and then we'll see. It should fire off immediately when we unpause. Yep, a little bit. Was that hydrogen? It was. Okay, let me go back to there. Okay. Pumped a little. It's still confusing it. Okay, I'm gonna move it to 1600. Okay, that's good. How are we doing in this? It's still oxygen purely. Go back here. Check out this Atmos sensor. We're looking at this number. When it goes above, that's when this should fire. There. Still getting pretty low. Okay. Okay, can I see how that was? It's purely hydrogen. I'm gonna keep it on this screen now. Okay. So only oxygen here. Only hydrogen. I think we're at a good spot. I'm gonna let this fly and see if there's anything that happens. Okay, so something did happen. It's weird. We have the gas pipe backed up a lot. You can see it, not much time has passed, by the way. But a lot of hydrogen gas is backed up. I'm not sure if this is normal, but what doesn't seem normal is like, I mean, maybe this is fine. Let me just keep watching. But I do think this is going to pile up too much and is actually going to be problematic for our bottom gas pumps here because they might start to suck in what is it? Hydrogen down here. Like you can see some of it's getting down there. Yeah, now we have a speck here. So what that means is something is wrong with the logic here. And for some reason, even though it's leaking so much down here, this is not firing. So maybe we have to go even lower. Because remember, if this Atmos sensor fires off here, not only does it tell the gas pump to pump gas, it also tells the hydrogen generators to start moving, to start consuming the hydrogen. So let's see here. Does that fix it? Okay, it's purely oxygen. There's some hydrogen getting through. Yeah, the hydrogen's still spilling. No, we can't have this. We have to go even lower. 1400. Okay. Sensor is on. So the sensor here's a weird situation. The sensor is on. So it's telling the gas pump to get rid of the hydrogen up here, but there's just no space in the vents for it. So it's also telling the hydrogen generators to fire too. Okay, I added some power consumers onto the line. So hopefully that'll drain the battery a little quicker, and then that'll get the hydrogen generators going. Okay. I think we're reaching an equilibrium. You know what I think we need to do? Well, actually, it seems okay now. Hold on, let's just let it run. Hydrogen's being contained. Oh, hold on. Yep, as I suspected. So some oxygen got in. We reached an equilibrium, but well, not really. It was just close to equilibrium. But it outpaced it. So I'm going to keep it at 1500 and hope this works. So it needs to get rid of this oxygen. Okay. A little hydrogen went in, a little hydrogen again. If it happens again, that's when it's a problem. It happened again. It's so weird how this is working. I think we need... Let's try right in between. 1,450. No, no. What was that? Why did it displace like a ton of gas just shot down? Like you can see here, there's oxygen here, but there's hydrogen here too, and it just shot down. What the heck? It was going so well. Now, one thing I'm a little worried about is that this has nothing to do with my automation and more to do with this heavy watt joint plate, because you can see in here there's like this blinking hydrogen oxygen tile here, and I'm wondering if there's like this is a choke point, and maybe if this heavy watt joint plate wasn't here, it'd be able to keep the hydrogen from going down any lower and trying to get around the plate, like right there. Let's see. Gonna destroy this. Want to make it an airflow tile. Then how do we get power from the top to the bottom chambers? Let's try doing it from the outside. This is tough. This is hard. Okay. Let's see if this helps. I'm going to keep the numbers the same, because it seemed to work pretty well. The hydrogen is behaving nicely here. Getting some oxygen in this line. That's new. Yeah, it's happening consistently. This design is changing what we need to do here. I'm gonna set this a little higher. Maybe the problem is here. Hold on. Am I thinking about this wrong? Like, maybe the problem is that, not that this is misfiring, because it is getting pretty like dense up here, as in there's a lot of hydrogen gas grams up here, but there also seems to be a lot on the bottom side too. So when this gets overpressurized, in theory that should mean that there should be a lot of hydrogen over here, and then the gas pump should be free to fire. But when it fires, it's getting oxygen too, which means that not only is it super dense up here, but it also means that the oxygen is super dense, and then that's not firing. So something is like, it might just be... It might be the hydrogen messing with it? I'm not sure. Like... Hold on, did it scoop up some hydrogen there? No, it didn't. This is a weird balancing act. No, now hydrogen's getting in the bottom line too. There's a mismatch. Well, it's not really a mismatch, it's just... something weird is happening. I really don't want to cheat. But I'm fairly certain that the Atmos sensors go, like... I'm pretty sure they go in these spots. This one is the one I'm not sure of, though. Like, I have the least amount of confidence, but I'm still pretty confident in. I'm thinking of my options, right? Like, number one, I can look it up, but I don't want to do that. Number two, I can make my own spawn design. It doesn't have to be the Rodriguez. And the advantage of that is this, the Rodriguez, the half Rodriguez at least, is hyper optimized for space efficiency. But that comes with a lot of like trial error in this small form factor. But if we expanded the chambers, so like the bottom chamber is a little bit deeper and the top chamber is a little bit taller, then we'd have space to put our Atmos sensors further away from the membrane here. I'm gonna call it a membrane, but this membrane layer that we've got going that allows the transfer of the two gases. So like if we just expanded this membrane area so that the area in which hydrogen and oxygen can exist is bigger, that would be massive, because the hydrogen, the place where we're getting hydrogen from and we're pumping it out of, can be bigger, and that means that our gas pump can live in that area and not too close to the membrane where it has a chance of getting oxygen inside of its system. And the same for the gas pumps below, the oxygen pumps, that can be lower in an area where only oxygen exists, and the membrane area can just contain the electrolyzers which produce both gases. I think I'm liking that a little bit more. I'll come back. Yeah, I'm gonna stop the recording here. I'm just gonna sit and think about how I would design a spa. All right, so it is the next day, and I've went ahead and tried to tackle the problem of expanding our spawn and trying to work out the filtering kinks. And then I realized something that I probably should have realized a long time ago. So this whole design, it's based on the Half Rodriguez, and I essentially memorized the shape of it. So I know there's 2 electrolyzers, 4 oxygen gas pumps, and 1 hydrogen gas pump. And it's configured in somewhat this way. But what I didn't really remember from this is the materials. So number 1, I had this as mechanized airlocks, but then I read over it and I was like, wait a minute, this is more expensive for functionality that I'm not using because it requires power to use its special feature. And if there's no power, which I'm not providing power to it, then it just works as a manual airlock. So that's one thing I got wrong. But another thing is these airflow tiles underneath here. So the reason why this spawn is shaped the way that it is, we're not abusing, but we're taking advantage of the densities of the 2 gases that the electrolyzer produces. It takes hydrogen, H2O, and separates it into O2 and H, hydrogen and oxygen. And oxygen is denser than hydrogen. So we use that to essentially have the gases settle out, and the hydrogen rises up here, completely takes over this top layer of tile, and then seeps down to the gas pump, where the gas pump hopefully only pumps hydrogen because it's being filtered out because of the densities on these 2 wide tile columns. But we also have this airflow tile layer floor down below that I thought was borrowing from the original Half Rodriguez, but that's not true, because if you think about it, what that's doing is, instead of having the filtration happen on the edges here, hydrogen goes and rises, and then it comes over here, and as the gas pump pumps out everything, it pumps out all of the oxygen from this 2x2 area, and then essentially the only way that oxygen can get in through here is if it is less dense than hydrogen and comes up the top here, but that's not true. So only hydrogen comes up here and goes here. But since there's airflow tiles here, the oxygen is allowed to flow down and sometimes get into this 2x2 chamber. So I was like, oh, that probably isn't right, and let's see what happens if we put tiles in there. Now with tiles, the oxygen has no way to get into this 2x2 chamber except for up top here. And the hydrogen, if it's completely encapsulating this row of tile here, then it completely blocks out any oxygen from ever going into this chamber and filters it out completely. So all we were doing with our airflow tiles down here was providing a way for the oxygen to bypass that filter that we were trying to take advantage of. So I abandoned this as soon as I realized, and I went and made the change down here. So we have normal tile here. That means we can put back our heavy watt joint plate over here, which makes a lot more sense now. This one tile, airflow tile, that didn't make sense. Yeah, that was the problem. But now we have a situation where this top layer is all pink hydrogen, and it all seeps down here, and there's no way for oxygen to come in from the bottom. And yeah, I just initially, when I made this change though, the system had to like take a bit to work out the hydrogen that was already in this bottom system. But once it did that, I think we've completely stabilized. You can see the filtration is happening here right before your eyes in the middle. And I just had to change some of these, I had to experiment with some of the atmosensor settings so that our gas pumps only fire when there's enough oxygen down here. so that it can pump it and create full packets of oxygen. So these smaller packets here, that's just a result of me not putting the gas pipes correctly. I guess I could rectify that now, but I'm not going to do that right now. And for the most part, I took a look here. Every time, so remember, gas pumps, the effects is 500 grams of gas that it can transport from its environment into pipes. And if you look here, the oxygen, I mean, right now it's 100 here. Is that right? Why is it 100 here? Okay, maybe there needs to be more tweaking to this. Oh, because this is set incorrectly. I don't know why it did that. Supposed to be, yeah, 1100. Okay, yeah, so it should accumulate. And when it goes on, that oxygen level should never go beyond 500 grams. Meaning, every time the gas pump is on, it is at 100% capacity and we're not wasting power that way. We're min-maxing our power so that our hydrogen generators can always produce an excess of power, because that's the expected turnout of this. If we didn't have these Atmos sensors here, the net power usage of this would actually be negative. But if we have it configured correctly, it's positive. So I tweaked around with that, and essentially I think that fixed all of our problems. I haven't run into anything yet with how our logic is. I think our logic is at least in the right spirit. It might not look the same as the Half Rodriguez, because I'm pretty sure this gate is somewhere over here. Or something is over here on the automated side. Again, I just remembered the shape. But I'm pretty sure the spirit is correct, because its outputs and everything I'm seeing seems pretty healthy. Like, only oxygen coming out here, only hydrogen going here. Yeah, we have our hydrogen backed up a lot, but you know, you can just slap another hydrogen generator and then call it a day. Who cares? But yeah, everything seems to be going smoothly, and I think I'm ready to just put this into our world. But yeah, I think this episode is just going to be, probably going to label it like a half episode, because we didn't really do anything in our current world. But by the beginning of our next episode, you should see this implemented in our new world, hopefully. If our duplicates, I'll at least queue it up. But yeah, sorry for not posting like an actual full episode, but I think this was worth documenting my process on how I figured this out. Eventually, like, this is the Half Rodriguez. There is a full Rodriguez that uses 2 more electrolyzers. I do remember the shape of that, and based on the concepts that we learned today, I think that's going to be easy to implement. So I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be later on in the playthrough, when we're getting a ton more duplicates. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully I'll see you in a full actual episode of Oxygen Not Included in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.